Welcome to the City Board meeting for November 21st, 2017. I'd like to welcome everyone who is with us here in attendance as we quickly approach the holiday season with Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday. So I want to, first of all, wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and be with your families and enjoy a little bit of time together. It's really a special time of the holidays. My favorite holiday, by the way. So with that said, it's time for us to get started, so Madam Clerk, if you would, please read the roll.
Director Hendricks, Director Richardson, Director Pack, Director Hines, Director Wright, Director Wyrick, Director Campuris, Director Fordson, Director Adcock, Vice Mayor Webb, Mayor Stola.
Here. If you would, let me ask Director Irma Hendricks for the invocation, please.
Please. The best and earnest prayer that I have to offer tonight is that we will let the words of our mouths and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in the eyesight of God. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. If you would, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we get into the agenda, we have some presentations to make. One of our outreach programs is a program called Working Together in the Community. And part of that process is teaching Arkansas driving laws in Spanish. So I'd like to call on Little Rock Police Officer Tobler to tell us about the program. And then I think we have some proud graduates that Chief Buckner and I are going to hand a certificate of completion to.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the board, I am pleased to come before you once more to present some of our graduates from the driving safety course. We are happy to be able to offer this service to the community and to hopefully improve the safety on our roads and also to help people who are able to get driver's licenses and to pass the written exam. And we'd like to give some certificates with the mayor's help and the help of Chief Buckner. Para los participantes, si pueden venir cuando llamo sus nombres para recibir su certificado desde el jefe de policía y tomar una foto con el jefe y el alcalde. Okay. Alma Delia Ramos. Carlos Gabarrete. Delia Chavarria Ercili. Edgar Cervantes. Sí, Francisca Granados. O Francisca. Perdona por mi acento. Marcela Ávila. María Elena Fajardo Acevedo. Oh, I'm sorry. Mari Cervantes. I missed. I'm sorry. I thought we'd. Okay, this is Maria Elena, the next one. Sorry, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Mari Cervantes. Lo siento, señora. Matilde Olvera. Miriam Rosas Aguilar. Modesto Vela Pacheco. Ryder Antonio Catin Ure. ¿Cómo se pronuncia su nombre? ¿Ryder o Rider? Rider. Okay. Ya, lo siento. Silvia Vela Herrera. Y Vladimir Delgado. Rocío. Okay. Rocío. Y Rocío Nereida Ríos. Gracias por su tiempo y su atención. Thank you very much for your attention and time.
Okay, we can now move into the agenda. We have one modification proposed, which is Resolution M1 that's before you on the first page. Is there a motion to add this to the
So
agenda?
move.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to add this to the consent agenda. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Very good. It will be added. Madam Clerk, if you would, please read the consent agenda as amended.
The consent agenda consists of a resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into contracts in a total amount of $570,650 for the construction of 4 single-family dwellings as part of the Home Investment Partnerships Program and for the purposes, a resolution to appropriate $1,682,400 from the city's 3/8 capital sales and compensating use tax proceeds to the Central Arkansas Technology Park and for other purposes, funding from the 2012 3/8 capital improvement sales tax. Resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Mark McClarty Ford Lincoln in an amount not to exceed $168,722.40 for the purchase of 2 3-cubic-yard crew cab dump trucks for the Public Works Department and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with Harbor Enterprises LLC in an amount of $118,324, including grant funding from the FEMA Hazard Mitigation Grant Program for the purchase and installation of 2 tornado safe rooms at the Dunbar Community Center and at the Ottenheimer Therapeutic Recreation Center and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Far West Environmental in an amount not to exceed $59,500 for the purchase of 1 Smith Detection Hazmat ID Elite for use by the Central Arkansas Regional Hazmat Team and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into an agreement with Metropolitan Fire Extinguisher in an amount not to exceed $80,483 for the purchase of 13 Scott Air Pack 75 units for use by the Central Arkansas Regional Hazmat Team and for other purposes. A resolution to appoint Friday Eldridge and Clark LLP as bond counsel for the proposed issuance of Little Rock, Arkansas capital improvement bonds for the purpose of financing a portion of the cost of improvement of park facilities within MacArthur Park and for the purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Jackson Brown Palculect Architects at an amount not to exceed $293,324 to provide architectural services for the construction of Fire Station Number 24 to be built at 8801 Stagecoach Road and for the purposes. Funding for the 2012 3/8 capital improvement sales tax. That concludes the consent agenda.
Move for the adoption of the consent agenda.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to adopt the consent agenda. Any discussion? Well, hearing none, all in favor of the passage of the consent agenda indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. The consent agenda is approved. Excuse me. We can now move on to the grouped items, items 8 through 12. First reading, please.
An ordinance to accept the Revel Cove annexation to add certain lands to the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for the purposes. An ordinance to reclassify property located in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, amending the official zoning map of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for the purposes. An ordinance to amend Chapter 30 of the Code of Ordinances of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, providing for a deferral of master street plan right-of-way dedication requirements for West Markham Street, and for the purposes. An ordinance to declare that it is impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize participation of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, in an insurance pool administered by the Arkansas Municipal League for certain litigation costs, expenses, and coverage for an amount not to exceed $572,871.04 to declare an emergency and for the purposes. An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize the city manager to purchase 100 service weapons in the amount of $45,700 from Cruz Uniforms and Equipment for the Little Rock Police Department and for the purposes. First reading.
Move we suspend the rules and place on second reading.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to suspend the rules and place these ordinances on second reading. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Second reading, please.
An ordinance to accept the Revel Code annexation to add certain lands to the city of Little Rock, Arkansas. An ordinance to reclassify property located in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, amending the official zoning map of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas. An ordinance to amend Chapter 30 of the Code of Ordinances of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, providing for the deferral of master street plan right-of-way dedication requirements for West Markham Street. An ordinance to declare that it is impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize participation in the city of Little Rock, of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, in an insurance pool administered by the Arkansas Municipal League for certain litigation costs, expenses, and coverage for an amount not to exceed $572,871.04 to declare an emergency. An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize the city manager to purchase 100 service weapons in the amount of $45,700 from Cruz Uniforms and Equipment for the Little Rock Police Department. Second reading.
Move we suspend the rules and place on third and final reading.
There's a motion and a second to suspend the rules and place these ordinances on third and final reading. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Third and final reading, please.
An ordinance to accept the Revel Code annexation to add certain lands to the city of Little Rock, Arkansas. An ordinance to reclassify property located in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas. An ordinance to amend Chapter 30 of the Code of Ordinances of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, providing for a deferral of master street plan right-of-way dedication requirements for West Markham Street. An ordinance to declare that it is impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize the participation of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, in an insurance pool administered by the Arkansas Municipal League for certain litigation costs, expenses, and coverage for an amount not to exceed $572,871.04 to declare an emergency. An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize the city manager to purchase 100 service weapons in the amount of $45,700 from Cruz Uniforms and Equipment for the Little Rock Police Department. Third and final reading.
Okay, any questions? Hearing none, all in favor of the passage of these ordinances indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. The ordinances have passed. And on the emergency clause on ordinance number 11, all in favor of the emergency clause indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. The emergency clause is also approved. We can now move on to the two separate items, and I think we can probably go ahead and read both of these together, and then if there are any questions, we can take care of them. Madam Clerk, if you would read Resolution 13 and Resolution 14, please.
A resolution to approve one operator permit and 100 taxicab permits for Greater Little Rock Transportation Services LLC for the period from January 1st, 2018 to December 31st, 2018, and for the purposes. A resolution to approve one operator permit and 7 taxicab permits for Ken's Cab LLC for the period from January 1st, 2018 to December 31st, 2018, and for the purposes.
There's a motion and a second to adopt these resolutions. Is there any discussion? Director Richardson?
Yes, Mayor,
Are you
thank
wishing
you.
to speak on this?
Yes, I think, Bruce, we got a memo on this issue, I think yesterday. I think somebody raised questions about complaints with respect to the different companies, and just had a quick question. Is this one of the factors we utilize to determine whether or not somebody gets a contract or permit or not? And at least to me, a couple of them seem to be very, very subjective, not objective at all.
Let me ask the Director, Willie Hinton, to come forward. It is a factor, but we monitor that throughout the year, and if it becomes an issue, we sit down with the companies. Mr. Hinton.
Unless my memory is failing me, this is the first time I've seen such a memo, or such a request or a memo with respect to complaints, and number of complaints and types of complaints. So it kind of raised my eyebrows when I got this yesterday.
Well, actually, and Willie wouldn't know this, but that's been a common question that has been asked over the years when we were looking at various permits, how many complaints, how many of them were substantiated, and so.
Yes, Willie.
Well, we do track the number of complaints that come in, and frankly, when the question was asked, and I actually went and asked my people to dig into it, I was surprised how few complaints it is compared to the number of fairs that actually happen here.
Yes, sir.
And Director Eckhart raised it, but, you know, I think she saw that it's not a lot of complaints on those guys. And the ones that they do, it was only 6 of them that actually was raised up for us to investigate. The cab companies actually do their own investigations, then they resolve all their own complaints and report the resolution to us. And then if it's not acceptable, then we get involved in it. And it was only 6 of them out of the number of.
So how do we, lost property, overcharging, no service, slow service, refusal of service, driving in the left lane. So how do we quantify those that seem to be subjective, rude behavior, unprofessional rude behavior? How does that quantify? Is it based on somebody's accent or what they say or how they say it? How do you quantify that?
Well, you don't. What we do is, that's the reason why we require the cab companies to resolve them themselves, right? And if it has to come up to us, and most of the ones we get is the ones about slow driving in the left lane. The overcharging, they always
Gotcha.
resolved by the cab company itself.
So we rely on the companies themselves to investigate the subjective ones, and they report that back to us?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve both of these resolutions. If there's no other discussion, all in favor of the passage of the resolutions indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Both Resolution 13 and 14 have passed. We can now move on to a public hearing on item 15. And let me open up the public hearing and ask the Madam Clerk to read the resolution, please.
A resolution to authorize the mayor and board of directors of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas to certify municipal liens attached to private property for work performed on private property by the city, to forward this certified list of liens to the Pulaski County Treasurer's Office to be collected in the form of property taxes on an annual property tax bill, and for the purposes.
There's a motion and a second. Tom, Mr. Carpenter, if you would, as you did this afternoon in our meeting, would you mention how many we are certifying and what the total dollar amount is, please?
There's 374 different properties. There are more liens than that. The amount is $106,378.18. These are various, any liens that we're able to impose, things like cutting the grass, demolition, things of that nature on the properties. And during this public hearing, if anyone, we sent notice beginning September the 6th, and that may have been the only day. Mr. Garland sent me there's a model letter that's in in the resolution, but we sent notices out letting people know that this hearing would be held tonight, and their question before the board, if they wish to speak, is to challenge the amount of the lien, not whether the lien was imposed.
Very good. Let me take Director Hendricks's question or comment, and then we'll see if there's anyone else that wishes to speak at this public hearing. Director Hendricks.
I think mine would be afterwards asking for a list. That has nothing to do with the motion.
Asking for a list of the properties?
Yes.
It's linked.
It's on the,
I believe it's part of this communication,
I didn't
your
get
board
mine.
resolution.
I don't have a cord to my iPad.
It's an attachment.
Okay.
Very good. All right. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak about this resolution certifying liens to the Pulaski County Treasurer's Office? Anyone who wishes to speak? Hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. Go ahead, Director Wright.
What department receives these funds, Mr. City Manager?
housing and neighborhood programs,
All of it?
all of it.
Okay. I expect to see some changes.
Well, it gets attached to the tax bills. The collection of it is still
I know,
a question.
but at least it's an effort.
That's right. Okay, all in favor of the passage of resolution number 15 indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, saying nay. The resolution is approved. That, the next item on our agenda is citizen communication. We have no cards for citizen communication this evening, so that concludes our agenda. At 6:25, almost. Well, we got a couple directors that wish to speak, so don't. Go ahead, Director Hendricks.
It's for Mr. Moore. I want to share with you, because I know you're down here most of the time. Are we short on people picking up garbage? The trucks were passing my house at 5:30 last week. I don't need nothing, I want to know, do we need additional help?
Director Hendricks, I don't have the numbers right in front of me. We have enough to run our routes. That's a high turnover job in some sense, but we also have some long-term employees. So when you say they were running by your house at 5:30, that's a positive to me that they're still out getting their routes done.
Well, the positive to me that it's not enough men working in that department. So would you provide for me the number of employees that you have? It makes no sense. We just inundated with the Little Rock Police Department. But I think we need to be inundated with cleaning up our neighborhood on time.
Yes, ma'am.
Vice Mayor Webb, you're recognized, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And this is really a procedural question, I guess, or a comment. At the agenda meeting 2 weeks from tonight, there will be a resolution regarding federal highway funding.
Agenda 1 week from tonight.
Yes, thank you. So I just wanted to make that comment because I believe procedurally it has to be said tonight to be in the right time frame. Is that correct?
For the next board meeting, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. That's it.
Director Wyrick, you're recognized, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Moore, where are we on the budget, presenting the budget to the board? I'm aware of a query to present the budget to Southwest Little Rock on 12/4, and we've not seen it yet. So
Yeah, and
trying to understand what your timeline is.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that meeting's going to happen. There's another presentation set up with code enforcement. But the plan is you all will get it on Friday. The mayor and I will send it out Friday, and then so we'll have it, and it'll be on item for discussion next Tuesday at your item for presentation next Tuesday, and kind of a budget workshop.
Okay. It's my understanding that we were making plans for you to do that presentation, but I just didn't know when we were going to see it before it went to the neighborhoods.
Well,
So-
I don't think I typically would ever do that.
Okay. All right. So next week we'll see it.
You'll see it this
Friday.
Friday.
Okay. Thank you.
Director Richardson.
Yes, Mayor, one quick question. Vice Mayor, your comments a minute ago, are you referring to the ordinance, the resolution you and I were working on a while back? Okay, thank you.
All right, is there anything else to come before the meeting this evening? There's a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, say nay. We're in adjournment.